Okay, they made some moves. They made some moves. So the question is, who you with? Who you with? Let's get it. Let's go.
Introducing the Couch Rider Raven Report. Let's go. Ravens, Ravens, Ravens. Couch Rider. Ravens, Ravens, hey, Ravens. We gon' ride out. Ravens, Ravens, hey, Ravens. Couch Rider.
For some of you Twitter gangsters, this is just a hobby, original sports perspective. You can't stop me. Couch Rider Report, it's reflective. Please respect it. You will get checked, and your knowledge will be tested. I ain't the coldest Raven, but this is my show. Shout out to the Barry White of rap for the beat, though.
Hey, welcome back. Hey, welcome back to the home of original sports perspective from our couch to yours. This is your Couch Rider Ravens saying, thanks for coming through. Please hit the like button, hit subscribe, and smack that bell so you know when it's going down. Hey, appreciate you. Like I said, you could be anywhere in the world, but you here with your boys Monday night. Last week we had a power outage. This week, Cam Rue has a power outage. We will not see him tonight. It's kind of frustrating that we can't get on the same page, but we will. We will eventually. When the season starts, we'll be popping shows off. Maybe Mondays and Wednesdays, but right now we're going to stick to Mondays for our recap. And then if there's Monday Night Football, we may end up moving the show to Wednesday nights. But that just kind of give y'all a heads up as to what's going on with the Couch Rider Raven during the offseason. It's a lot, trying to be a good dad, trying to be a good church member, stuff like that. So, yeah, good times. Anyway, we're going to keep you rocking. We'll keep it going here. Let's see who's in the room. We got Lisa. Lisa says, hey, Jermaine, you know full well that the Ravens are much better in the AFC. I mean, I wouldn't be having a show if it's got to be a little bit of controversy there right now. But the Steelers made some moves. Let's just call it what it is. The Steelers made some moves. But we'll talk about that in a minute here. Delicious is in the building. He said, what's up, Couch Rider? Cam and crew. Cam is definitely probably looking on somewhere in a dark place, hopefully with some good AC. He said he's just going to stay still. He don't need no AC because you know how Cam is. He don't need none of that. It's fine. He's fine. All right. Delicious said, hit that like button. Hit that like button. Yes. It helps the algorithm out. I appreciate y'all coming through, man. Delicious says, next episode, Cam, for sure. Engraven is in the building. He said, that's crazy with them power outages. Yeah, I think when them storms hit, it'd be wild, right? Be wild. He said, what was his? Transformer Blue. That's crazy. So that might take some time to get back before he gets back online. Hopefully he can get back on before next week. All right. So now we've talked about, y'all coming through. Of course, we putting the business up there. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, smack the bell. Engraven is in the building. Glad we got the celebrity here. And next is our moment of controversy. All right, when it comes down to the moment of controversy, this is where I like to start some stuff. I used to have like motivational moments. Don't get me wrong, I still believe that we can have an inspirational, motivational moment, but sometimes I just like to stir the pot. Look, just be a little messy. Today's question is, are you a morning bird or are you a night crawler? This is for those folks, who wake up all chipper in the morning, feeling fantastic, ready to start the day off early and just be chipper coming into work saying, hey, how you doing? What's going on? And then just full of energy. And then you have those other folks who are like, go away. Why? No, go sit, go. No, oh, wait, over there. We don't need that. We don't need that here. But then when it comes to the nighttime, we are the night crawlers. We rule the night. And so when it comes to night crawlers and early birds, there may be a disconnect between us. But is it better to be the night crawler or is it better to be the early bird? Because I feel like I am the night crawler, but my wife tells me to go to bed. So that is like a little bit of problem, when you got somebody who's like this is your bedtime. This is time we go to bed. And I'm like, well, we shouldn't go to bed. You can go to bed, and then I'm gonna be down here, and I'm gonna hang out and be on the show. And she's just like, well, I feel like you should come to bed with me. We are going to bed together. And I'm like, this is not the idea. This is not the way I had planned on this going. I was planning on gaming all night, and I was planning on being on the show. But you talking about I got to be in the bed, so I'm over here in the bed like this, twiddling my thumbs, sitting here wondering why am I sitting here staring at the ceiling when ain't nothing going on. Too much detail. But what I'm saying is I don't want to go to bed. I want to stay up late. And then she's the one who's the morning person, wants me to be up, ready to rock. And I'm like, I'm going to sleep in. All right, let's see what y'all got to say. Susan says, I'm forced to be an early bird with work. Yeah, my job, don't get me wrong. Like, I have 123 days left of active duty service. And after that, actually probably September 1st, I'm going to stay up. And then I'm going to go to sleep Friday late after playing video games or whatever. And then I'm going to be late getting up and enjoy it. I'm going to just sludge out of bed at probably about 11 o'clock just for the heck of it for about 2 months straight until I can get a job because I'll be partially retired, receiving that check and whatnot. But see what y'all got to say here. Lisa says, the only way not to think about my cancer is listening to Foreigner with Kelly Hansen is singing on my phone. My favorite song is Head Games. I get up between 5:30 and 6 in the morning. It is definitely, it's a fight. So I'm glad you're in this fight, and I'm glad you're waking up each morning. That's very important. So you keep that fight going. Oh, man. When it comes to that morning, though, I cannot seem to get up and be alert and be ready to rock. Like, I force myself up because it's my occupation. But if I could get up and not have to be to work till about 8 o'clock, and that's kind of what I'm hoping for, is like, give me a nice job where I can work like 8 to 4:30, 8 to 5. I'll be good. This coming in at 7 and 7:30, and all of a sudden somebody saying you need to get up for PT and we need to be there at 6:30. No. I'm done with it. I ain't got the energy for it, folks. Just don't have it. I'm curious to what y'all have, because I think I've only seen 2 comments on morning people or night crawlers. And I think it's because I used to have that club life, We used to go pregame and all that craziness. And then we would go to the club around 11:30. I'm too old for that now because I don't, that's a whole past life. We don't do that no more. But at the same time, I still wouldn't mind staying up playing Madden all night. That would be great. But then, like I said, if somebody wants to make us go to bed, because that's apparently what's going on, we go to bed early. I don't care. It's fine. It's cool. Whatever. But yeah, she'd be all chipper in the morning. I'd be like, all right, moving on. All right, so y'all saw it. Today, there were some significant moves when it came to the offseason. We had the Steelers make a big-time move. And at first, I was like, oh, my goodness, if they pairing Jalen Ramsey up with Minkah Fitzpatrick, it's going to be over. This defense is going to be elite. I didn't realize he was part of the package deal, because when you look on Twitter, all you see is that the Steelers acquired Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith and a 2027 7th-round pick from the Miami Dolphins. What they don't come in there and say immediately, unless you probably click onto the tweet and see any extra details, but it says sent Minkah Fitzpatrick and a 2027 5th-round pick to the Miami Dolphins. So initially, I'm like, oh man, the Steelers, they don't beast. They don't did their thing. Sorry, I'm checking on. I'm a single dadding right now with the dog, so I got Raven right behind me. I don't think y'all have actually met Raven. Maybe I give y'all a sneak peek of my little dog here, man. Let's see. Can you see this little? Oh shit! She's right behind the chair. She's kind of shy. That up there. You got a little bit. And she ran off, folks. She ran off. She's not about that life. What a death, though. She's awesome, sweet dog. Anyway, I got 3 dogs I'm doing dad duty for right now. And just looking forward to their mother coming home so she can hang out with them. Anyway, so we are still talking about the off-season moves. Like I said, between the Jalen Ramsey acquisition and Jonnu Smith and a 2027 round pick from the Miami Dolphins, does this move and the Aaron Rodgers move and the DK Metcalf move and the Darius Slay move and the stealing of our Malik Harrison move and the Brandon Eccles, Cole Holcomb, Tucker Addington, and Deshaun Elliott re-signing deal. Does that make the Steelers better than the Ravens this year? Did they do enough to make them significant in the AFC North to where they can take the crown from the Baltimore Ravens? And I'm like, the reason I'm bringing this up is because we're going to look at it by position by position after I read these comments. Delicious says, I'm a morning bird. Did night shift for 10 years overnight. Never again. I used to do night shift for the first couple of years of my career, and it was great because we were on Panama. So we had the two days on, 3 days off, and then 3 days on, 2 days off, and so on and so on. So it was like I got every other weekend off, and then and off during the time in the week. I saved so much leave and got to sleep during the day and party all night. Well, I say party, but I was really just hanging out with friends all night after we did our ward rounds within the clinics or within the wards. So that was pretty cool. And I think that's where I started being a night owl at, is because we were hanging out all night with your friends and just chatting it up on the wards, making sure the patients were safe and that if they were discharged or if they happened to pass, we got a hold of the families. Okay. Brooke says, hello, what's happening? Delicious says, this might sound like hate, but I don't think the Steelers really improved. LOL. If I'm a Steelers fan, I'm not all that excited. There is a Steelers fan in the room, I believe. Where is he? I guess we'll see. Lacey says, watch out, Ingraven. Fitzpatrick is in Miami. Yep. He's in Miami, man. You know how Ingraven is. He gonna do some recruiting. So next thing you know, Fitzpatrick will come over to Baltimore at random because all of a sudden these Ravens, these Florida Ravens. Actually, I don't even know if Fitzpatrick is a true Floridanian. But if he is, Ingraven has got to deal with Eric DaCosta, and he's probably making it work out to where he is making sure that we recruit properly. Okay, Lisa says, no way, no how. Delicious says, Steelers legitimately might finish barely over 500 again. Tomlin might get canned after this season. Susan says, I'm currently doing this part-time 4 to 9 a.m. shift. Whew, that's got to be rough, bro. People saying, what's up? Yeah, a lot of people think the Steelers are idiots for the trade. I was reading that on most timelines. I mean, Jalen's he's a little older now, so he doesn't have that spunk. Same thing with Darius Slay. When you got corners that are both over 30 years old, it could be an issue. However, I think Slay he hasn't lost any speed. He hasn't lost any of his game. And some could say the same about Jalen. So what's good? So everybody saying what's up. Okay, what's up? Everybody, what's up? Hey. All right. So with that, let's move into the positions. So we don't really have to. I mean, if this was 5-6 years ago, 5-6 years ago, we could sit here and pull up these stats and say, you know what? If we were doing a depth chart between quarterbacks, we could say, hey, okay, we could say Aaron Rodgers is better than Lamar Jackson. But that was if we got to go way back, or we got to go back to at least 2021. Because in 2021, Aaron Rodgers put up 4,100 yards, 37 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions, and had a QB rating of 111.9. I didn't have Lamar's put up yet, but we do know that Lamar was injured some of these seasons. Let me figure out the right ones. All right, so we're looking at 2021 season versus Lamar's 2021 season. Lamar had an 87 QBR. He had 16 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Wasn't the most glorious season, and he's completing 64% of his passes and had 2,800 yards. Now, if you look at Aaron Rodgers' year 2 years ago, this man had 3,600 yards, 26 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 91 rating. With the Jets, in a year where it was a full-on dumpster fire, this man still was able to put up 3,800 yards, almost 3,900 yards, 3 yards away, 28 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. He had a solid year, even though you could tell that man was hurting. You could tell every time he went to go pick himself up off the ground, there was something wrong. He refused to let evaluators look at him, and he was also kind of a poison to the organization by trying to play general manager. Here he is again trying to bolster another team for a run for a Super Bowl that has a decent defense. And we're still looking like, hey, is Aaron Rodgers going to be Aaron Rodgers-esque in his 40s? Don't know. I don't think everybody can beat Father Time and be Tom Brady and be on the same no bread diet and train the way that he trained and let loose and win a championship in his 40s like that. But if anybody can do it, a millionaire with a personal trainer has a pretty good opportunity to be great, especially when you have a good defense and a great run game. But the thing about their run game is it's not always consistent, and they're going to have a lot of changes coming up. And so we'll talk about that in a minute. So right now, as far as the better quarterback in the AFC North concerning the Steelers and the Ravens, we got to give it to Lamar Jackson. This guy should have been an MV3 last year. He lit it up. It was fantastic to sit there. Just fantastic to watch Lamar Jackson work because he should have been MVP. But of course, there's a lot of controversy with the media and everything else. Because look, Josh Allen was good. He was good. But Lamar was having the career numbers. 4,100 yards, 41 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 4 picks the whole season. 66.7 completion rate. Okay. But he had 119.6 QBR. If he had shown up better his final game of the season or something, I think it was final game of the season. Yeah. If he had a better QBR that game, he would have went down with the top QBR all time. It's madness, folks. It is madness to think that Lamar Jackson came out with a career high, the best he's ever played, and it wasn't enough for MVP, even though he beat his numbers the previous year. It's crazy. All right, going back down, pay some bills here. Yeah, you missed last week. Same, bro. Actually, no, you wasn't. I missed last week. We had a power outage. All right. Brooks says Prime Rogers was him, but that guy's gone. Don't mess with LJ. All right. I don't know if y'all saw that show the other day with him and Kevin Hart, but Kevin Hart is an absolute nut. Talking about he was in a church league and he did a move and blessed the dude, and the guy was Steve Jobs. But Steve Jobs runs a U-Haul company or U-Haul truck driving division, and he was extremely successful. It was just completely madness. Anyway, go watch that video. It's hilarious. Let's see. Jared Longmire says, I think it was stupid to trade Minka. I think Minka was, of course, you're looking at a guy who is basically in his prime. He's one of the top safeties in the league. To trade him back to Miami after Miami kind of really fleeced the Steelers with the picks to push Fitzpatrick up there. And then now they get him back for it's exchange of a 5th and a 7th round pick, and giving up a older guy on the roster and a meh tight end at best. I know some of y'all probably some big time fantasy football players who like Jonnu Smith, but when you're talking about top tight ends in the league, he's not top 3. He's not top 3. Honestly, I think the guy that's second on our depth chart at the tight end position is better than Jonnu Smith. Be curious to hear your thoughts on that. Desir Delicious says Steelers getting DK over Pickens might not be a upgrade neither. Feels like Steelers GM is playing fantasy football. There is some weird GMing going on with the Steelers right now. We'll take a look at that depth chart here in a second. So I feel like they traded Pickens because of his attitude. Bingo, you were a hot spot on. When you got a guy who makes business decisions on the field when it comes to blocking, when he's a selfish team player, which seems to be the theme going on with Steelers wide receivers, I don't know, for a very long time. They are definitely self-over team when you do get a decent wide receiver, because Steelers do produce wide receivers left and right. It's just that's their thing. They like to take a late round wide receiver and turn them into something, at least before the wide receiver coach died. But you also get the attitude factor when it comes to that diva, and we're not dealing with much of it right now. But just recognize that people gonna want to get fed this season. They're gonna want to get fed. Even old guys want to get fed. Nuke is gonna want his touches. You know, Rashad Bateman is gonna want his touches. Deontay Johnson was pissed because he didn't get his touches and he was cold and he was whining and he definitely wasn't meant for this team. But like I said, these guys, they expect production, and when they don't get production, they know that it affects their millions that they're going to make, and so they're gonna whine a little bit. All right, Gerald says that was a downgrade. Delicious. Dave Whitman, what's going on? He said, "Let's go Steelers." We got one in the room, y'all. We got one. Roast him. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Treat him nice. All right. So Brooks says Lamar definitely got robbed, and I don't care when people mention the year before. Josh led the league in interceptions the year before. So let me go down a little bit. Okay. So D says, any chance the Steelers target Justin Simmons? You know, I think as many moves as they are making right now, it would not surprise me if they make a move like that. And Simmons is no slouch, so he's probably just looking for the right fit. And Tomlin has a very popular coach with the players, so he could put on his best recruiting pitch, and next thing you know, Simmons is there. So when you're looking at the next spot as far as positions, let's see. Oh, question for you, Brooke. Are you able to see the Facebook Live chat going on right now? Within the We Are the Ravens flock group, sorry. All right, Gerald says Lamar's going to play angry ball. Of course he's going to play. He's on ball. He's going to do his thing. Anyway, so we discussed the quarterbacks. Let's talk about the running backs. So when you look at the Steelers depth chart of running backs, Jalen Moore is an elusive creature. I don't know if he can tote the rock. I don't know if he can tote the rock on first and second, sometimes third down. He can't be that every down back that you're going to be looking for, because if he's toting the rock on first and second down, it comes down to third down, and you're expecting him to still be able to get out of those blocks and be able to get open in space. It might be a little difficult. Or he could also be up for injury if you continue to use him in that capacity. This guy, I think they picked up Caleb Johnson. I think this is the third round of the draft. So this is a running back out of Iowa who's about 224 pounds. He can bruise. And I think some of his draft, I thought I had his draft profile up. I guess not. But he can thump. This could be a bruiser who could be an every down back, but I guess we'll see during the preseason when it all goes down. And it's going to be close. We close, man. But then you got Kenneth Gainwell, who's another smaller guy. It doesn't look like, when we're comparing backfields, that the Steelers' backfield is better than the Ravens. So right now, if we're talking matchups, the quarterback, Lamar Jackson, running back, the Baltimore Ravens got that one because we got D Henry. Oh, I mean, it's not just D Henry. We got Hill. We got Justice Hill, folks. We got Keaton Mitchell. We just got dogs all through that running back. We can do whatever. We can do whatever we want to do with our running backs because it looks just that good. The depth is there. All right, now we're over to wide receivers. So DK Metcalf is a Steeler. DK Metcalf has joined the division earlier this offseason. He joined with them and was acquired for like, was it a second, sixth, and the seventh round pick swap to the Seattle Seahawks. So you can take a look at how he matches up with this depth chart on there. So if you look at the wide receiver core for the Steelers, DK Metcalf, Robert Woods. How old is Robert now? This dude seemed like he's been in the league forever. So let me see how old he is. It's this kid. 33-year-old wide receiver. This, like I told you, we were talking about this with the Golden Girls, right? The Steelers are now the Golden Girls. You got a 33-year-old wide receiver. You got 2 plus 30-year-old corners. And then Aaron Rodgers, who was just I'm talking about he got a driver's license that's a rock right now. It just gets older and older for this team. Like, what is going on with this team? All right, so if we're looking at depth charts again, like I said, their wide receivers, DK Metcalf starting, Calvin Austin Jr., Calvin Austin the third. I have a lot of respect for. He's a big burner, but if we're looking at the comparison of what we currently have versus what they currently have starting, their number one is DK, number 4. Our number one, of course, is Zay. I think let's just say if they happen to cancel each other out. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and give them the benefit of the doubt and say, hey, you know what, DK and Zay, they can produce. Let's just call it what it is. Yes, they're two significantly different types of builds, but ultimately, one's a little sparky fast, and the other one's straight line fast and can climb the ladder a little bit better. So they both can produce. Let's cancel those two out. But if we talking about number 2 versus number 2, Robert Woods, a tactician, versus our guy, Mr. Bateman, big play Bates. I think that Bateman's definitely got him as far as number 2. And then, of course, the number 3 option, Calvin Austin the third versus Nuke. Nuke is a little bit older, seasoned vet, still can move the chains. Calvin is a speedy, sparky little guy who can move the ball, make some plays with the right quarterback. And Aaron Rodgers could be the right quarterback if healthy. We just don't know what that's going to look like with his age. And does he have that same poise in the pocket that he used to have? Because back in the day, Aaron Rodgers, he could take a hit. This dude would take 62 sacks in a season, but after each sack, this dude would get up and throw a couple strikes. I don't know if he still got that type of moxie, if he still got that type of strength, and he can take hits he's not going to be able to take hits in the AFC North with our dogs knocking at his door. Let's see. So as far as the wide receivers go, I got to get that one to the Ravens. So right now the score is 3-0. 3-0. Does any of the Steelers here in the group have a reason to debate why they believe that the Steelers have a better quarterback, wide receiver, or running back? Running back, I'm talking about their corms or their team. Let's say that position group. Sorry, position group. If the Steelers fans in here believe that there is a better position group amongst the Steelers versus the Ravens in those position groups, go ahead and stand on up. Matter of fact, I think we got one on the show. Let me go back. Is David Whiteman still here? Because if David is here, I would like to have David on the show. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and put the link down here. David, you on the show, man. I want to hear what you think about this conversation. The link is there. Boom. And if anybody wants to pop on the show with me, you got about, let's say, I give you about 45 good seconds to pop in, say your piece, and then we'll go ahead and put you back in the group. I'll put you back in the chat. But if you want to pop on here to say your piece about those 3 position groups, then I'm all for it. Let's read off some comments here. Delicious says, TJ probably pissed. LOL. Steelers got enough money to pay Ramsey $26 million, but can't pay him. I mean, both of those position groups are the contracts are ridiculous right now. For a mediocre, I'm not going to say, I ain't going to call Higgins a mediocre. I'm going to say above average wide receiver and Higgins, who could probably be a number one on somebody else's team. This dude's over here getting $26 million as the number 2 wide receiver. Is that not ridiculous? We are getting bargain deals for stars right now. Like Rashad Bateman's second contract or third contract with the Ravens, making history. We bargained. We got it at a bargain. 12 mil. Come on. Oh my gosh. It's magnificent. I can't believe that he settled for that. If I was his agent, I guess I'd be banging the table, wanting my money. And I think after the Ravens win the Super Bowl this year, he is going to bang the table and say, look, Baltimore, I gave you a discount. I got you a ring. Now it's time to pay up. Lisa says, how will LeJohntay Wester or Mike Green do this season? They should be rookie of the year. You can't give it to both of them. Now, somebody got to show up. Somebody got to sit down. And I think I mentioned this on Twitter. Everybody can't be in the kitchen and eating. There's not enough food in the fridge for every single Ravens wide receiver on the depth chart to continually eat. So LeJohntay is probably going to get a few plays in. He's going to look all right. He's going to do well on special teams. But ultimately, this is going to be one of those guys who is a great player to have on the team, and it's going to evolve eventually. But for this season, you're going to see the top 3 show up and show out. Maybe top 4, because Wallace does his thing when he gets his opportunities. Alicia says Warren is tough. I like him. Yeah, I like him. I think if you overuse him, though, you're going to break him. Brooks says, I read a post that said TJ is definitely unhappy. I hope he is out of there. Let the Steelers implode. So, yeah, TJ Watt looks like he wants to be traded. And I'd say so. Hey, you get the guy who's been benefiting off of the pressure, and I've been benefiting off of the ability to cover on that back end. And you're telling me you're going to send him down to Miami and give me an old guy? Well, it might be a little hot. I'm like, hey, we already got contract issues, but now I don't even have a chance at like having our defense. We got a major hole in our defense now, a major need on our defense as far as the safety position. And you did this to me when I'm trying to get a contract. Go ahead and trade me, bro. Go ahead and trade me, because I was here for the W, not for the cash. I was trying to get a little combination of both, but now I'm going to be missing one of those. So go ahead and trade me. The guy with the script is here. Jose is in the building. He says, what's good, y'all? It's been a hot minute. How's y'all's evening? See y'all in February. Here you go with his predictions again. He says his prediction, according to his script, is the Ravens versus Cowboys in the Super Bowl. While I think that is it's a fun guess. It's a fun one. I think we're going to be there, but honestly, I think it's going to be Tampa Bay or the Washington Commanders in the Super Bowl. I think that is kind of what we're looking at. Of course, Philly is always going to be competitive, but you're looking at who's going to be the one that rises out of the NFC. And I'm thinking Tampa Bay had such a great offseason. Baker is catching stride. It may be time to take this team serious. I know one thing. I ain't taking the 49ers serious. They had a freaking fire sale this offseason, and people still put them in the top 10 ranking. I'm like, are you serious? Get out of here. 267 years of age. Oh, yeah, you talking about all that. Ravens stick together. They believe, they achieve. I'm with you. The Bait is going to have another big year, I think. Okay. Feel like the Steelers did because of what the Ravens did. Yeah, so they were basically reactionary and trying to adjust to match that energy that the Ravens have had this offseason. We had a pretty good offseason. I wish that Darius Washington wouldn't have got hurt, because our secondary would have been, I mean, right now it's still looking pretty good. It is looking exceptional with the moves that we have made, whether it be Malachi Starks or picking up Jair. It looks great. Picking up Mike Green for the steal, for the low. Getting a first round caliber pick for a later round. I think that's exceptional. Jose says Bateman in the league and led the league in separation percentage. I want to see Westry play. I do too. I think a lot of his flair and his star power was downplayed because there's a Sanders on his team that was throwing on the ball. And of course, having a player that plays both sides of the field get drafted ahead of you kind of downplays you as well. So, all right. So where's Kenny? I want to hear how he feels about the trade. I'm with you. Yeah, if we see Kenny, y'all make sure if you know where he's at, go ahead and hit him up. Alicia says, we made great moves. LOL, I'm not sure what their GM is trying to do. Yeah, sometimes it's you know what they say, cocaine is a heck of a drug. It's a heck of a drug. Starks rookie of the year. I can see that. Okay. Big Reg, I'm gonna leave this on the screen while I grab my water. Y'all can go ahead and read that piece else. Did your boy drive through? I was hoping Wilbert would pop into the room because Wilbert is. I wanted to kind of give him a heads up or give him a shout out. Wilbert has supported the show like crazy, just like y'all have, and he has been a hardcore Cleveland Brown / Baker lover throughout this whole thing, and we love him. He's family. Wilbert is doing a fundraiser for his two girls, and they're selling. I think it's popcorn. Really? Yeah, he's selling seasoned popcorn, and he's got some amazing marketing skills. If you're a friend of his on Facebook, you're gonna get a good laugh. So I want you to find him, find a way to support him, and support his beautiful girls because Wilbur's here constantly supporting us. So find a way to reach out to him. All right. Anyway, back to the show. Big Red says, I don't think Aaron Rodgers can properly use DK Metcalf. Last year, he averaged just 6.7 yards per deep pass, or was it pass deep ball? Arm may not be there. There's possibility as you get older, that strength is not there as it used to be. But the mind is sharper, but the body usually doesn't follow. And that's cool. We're going to light them up. See, TH is holding out. TJ holding out. I understand. He's saying Ravens, Dallas. Gotcha. What? What you talking about, bro? Why you coming here with this negativity, bro? I can't appreciate this. So Ravens won't be in the Super Bowl. I wish they would, though. Bro, we going. We going. I'm sorry. I got to be like a Cowboys fan right now, but this is our year. We going. You know, the Cowboys like that every year. They think that they are going every single year. But I'm telling you right now, we got all the pieces we need. The Steelers, they're not gonna be. They might be second in the division, and that is if Joe Shiesty and the Bengals have a major slip. They got a new defensive coordinator. They don't know exactly what that new D is going to look like. Pause. But I think the Ravens have a better, more well-rounded team than anybody in the AFC North right now. So of course that means home field advantage for at least one game in the playoffs. I think the Chiefs are on the downfall. I think all of their wide receivers two of their wide receivers are facing charges and suspensions for off-field conduct. And then one of them's coming back from injury. It could be this could be the Ravens' year. I mean, let's just call it what it is. Do you see a team better than us right now? The Bills had a significant draft. They got an amazing corner, a really fast corner who he's got great ball skills. All right, I can give the Bills a lot of respect because Josh, while he had a easy schedule and the rest of the AFC North, excuse me, AFC East. Well, let me just be honest with you. They kind of look like this. It was a full on dumpster fire. That was the AFC East. It was just a hot mess. You had Aaron Rodgers that was burning the Jets to just no. It was just bad. They burned them all the way down. Burned the whole organization to the ground. You have the New England Patriots, who almost forgot because they were so bad. They still bad. They just an afterthought now. Their greatness years are gone. Miami Dolphins had Snoop starting for majority of the season. I mean, because their quarterback can't stay healthy. So it was really easy for the Buffalo Bills to walk through their division and get to the playoffs. So now, of course, these teams are trying to beef up. And I got to get the Jets credit. I like Justin Fields. I do. And I think that they are one great tight end away from doing something more with that division or with that division there. Miami, I don't know. I just don't know about Miami because one second you got Tyreek saying he wants to be part of a winning organization and he's over here backpedaling on that statement. It just sounds like it's a rough spot right there. It's gonna be another dumpster fire. Them in New England, I kind of just don't think that they're gonna do anything. I think the Jets and the Bills are probably the biggest things in the East. I'm gonna go down here to the new comments. I'm gonna skip a few. Yeah, it says the Jets make the wild card. It's possible. But I mean, when you're looking at that wild card, though, that's 3 teams, folks. 3 teams. So if we're counting, let's go ahead and count the Ravens in. Okay. Let's say we win it. Let's say we win the North. Let's say we win the conference. I'm gonna go ahead as far as we win the conference. That still leaves 6 other teams. Who's it gonna be? All right, if we go to the West, what if we said the Chiefs got it? But the Broncos look good. So what if we said the Broncos come in second? What if we said, okay, there's a Harbaugh over there, so we're going to give them the third slot? That's 3 teams to the West already. There's 3 teams to the West. So they got their division champion with the Chiefs. They got the Broncos who look solid. And the Chargers, Harbaugh, all he does is make winners. So there's 4 teams right there. Now you still got to get your other champions from those other 2 divisions. So, of course, if we count the Bills as champions of the East, and then, of course, if we go down to the South, it's a hot mess express, but we know I think Houston has got it. Houston has got that division. So that is 6 right there. So who's filling that 7th spot? And you're telling me the Jets are going to fill that spot? When you got the Bengals, who still, like I said, they get a defense, is on. And you telling me the Jets are going to fill that spot? I don't know. I'm not too sure. Then, of course, the other team we came to the show about tonight, the Steelers. Steelers could come in there and steal something. I'm not counting the Browns out. I refuse to count the Browns out because, man, let's call it what it is. We got a guy down there who got something he wants to prove, and 5 different quarterbacks who want to compete because they got something to prove. I'm not saying it's going to make it turn into something great, but you're talking about a team that still has a solid defense. Talk about a guy on that defense who's a beast, who's getting paid $40 million a year. Myles Garrett. That's still something noteworthy to look at. So with all these teams, Jets could slide in there as a wild card, or it could go to a different team. It could go to the Broncos. Depending on who's sitting right there on the cusp, it could be a full-on race for that final spot. Gerald says the Bengals don't choke. If you go back to the NFC, Diaz is saying the Giants make the wild card. Dart, best QB in the draft. Bro, I'm going to need you to go ahead. You can't fill this cup, but we're going to send you a cup. You need to go fill that. And then, yeah, because, I mean, is he even going to start? Is Russell Wilson going to start? Who's got it? Diaz says Philly wins the division. Giants make the wild card. Dallas makes the wild card. Okay. But what about the Washington Commanders? Because I thought, didn't they just make it to the the NFC Championship? You telling me you counting them out completely? Didn't they get Debo during the offseason? Jalen was a rookie. He's only getting better. Big Red says, just remember Harbaugh is the same guy that called a pass to the left tackle on the 1-yard line and the game on the line in the playoffs. You still trying to blame this on coaching? He put this team in position with the plays to make things happen. It was Andrew's fault. The reason we lost that playoff game. 2 turnovers. I would say a turnover and a drop in a critical situation. They don't cut it. I know Lamar tried to cover for him, but it is what it is. If that 2-point conversion gets made, we have a different storyline right now. Maybe we go to the Super Bowl. Yeah, the Steelers, the Eagles, the Eagles look great. But I think the Ravens would have given them a little bit more of a game. Okay. Brooks says, I thought y'all said he don't call plays. I think that's kind of what it is, right? There's a game plan, right? That gets put together by the head coach and the pass game coordinator, and possibly maybe the wide receiver coach has some input in there. Harbaugh's in the room as well. I think they roll through a like top 15 plays they're going to roll out with. But as far as scenario based, I think the offensive coordinator is calling the shots. Monken has a lot to do with the play calls. I'm not saying he's calling all of them, but I do think he's calling the majority of those plays. Maybe there are some situational ones where Harbaugh steps in, but I think Monken's got it for the most part. So y'all quit trying to blame Harbaugh, man. It's not. That ain't it. Debo is fat and slow. Okay. I ain't gonna even argue with that one right now. Burke says it was 100% Andrews' fault, and I love Andrews. He said in the press conference that he made the call not to run Henry, and that's okay. Andrews played his heart, but it was just slick. The conditions, the gloves was wet. It is what it is. Ain't nothing we can do about that to change it. All right. So with that said, I still need to go down here. We need to talk about different positions. So we know that right now the score is 3-0 Ravens over Steelers. That's why I got off track. Y'all asked some good questions to really pique my interest and pull me away from the topic. So here we go. The tight ends. The tight end position group for the Steelers right now is pretty strong. Let's take a look. I keep telling y'all, let's take a look. I mean, might as well go and let you see the screen as I'm looking. So I'm going to go ahead and share this screen. Okay. All right, so here we are. We're looking at the depth chart of the Steelers. And if you look here for the tight end position, they got Pat Freiermuth. I'm a fan of Pat Freiermuth. Jonnu Smith is a meh type of tight end. But when it comes to Darnell Washington, he's one of those guys where you want to see him unlocked. Not as a Ravens fan, but as just a fan of football. You want to see this guy rise up to the top of the depth chart because he's huge. Look at this dude. He's 6'7". Don't start with the young stuff, man. Y'all know the young little channel 6'7". Just leave it alone. Let it go. Anyway, 6'7", 264 pounds. This dude could lean on somebody, man, and get the first down. But that's what I'm saying. It's just they look like they have a pretty solid tight end group now. So when it comes to the tight ends versus ours, of course, we're looking at Mandrews, who's probably top 3 in the league, and he ain't number 3. You got our guy, Zay, now Flowers, but Likely. And Likely is probably more than likely up further up the depth chart when it comes to, or up the rankings when it comes to the tight ends in the league. I think he's better than at least the bottom 2. I think he's better than Smith. I think he's better than Washington. And then, of course, we continue with our depth. I think those two guys speak for themselves. But I think when it comes to the Baltimore Ravens tight ends, I think we have better tight end. Well, I think I'm gonna call that one a wash. I'll call it a wash because I think Darnell is gonna have a better season. Even though we got some dogs. We got some absolute dogs. And I just think between Kohler and between Likely and between Mandrews, I still want to give it to Baltimore, but I'm going to be nice. I'm going to go ahead and call that a wash and say, hey, this is a position group that Aaron Rodgers got some weapons, and he's probably going to make them look a little bit better. Let's see your commentary. All right. So Delicious says, doesn't move the needle. Big Red says, it's not okay when they couldn't stop Henry on that drive. He did his thing. Minka probably got deported because of that drive. Brooke Baby says, Lamar been our next about the Mandrews comments. Yeah, he's been on it. Yeah, he's defending his guy, and you got every right to do that. But you have to recognize that it's going to happen. People going to come for your neck when the guys lose. All right, Wilbur, what's good, man? Like I said, I promoted your popcorn. I think you're selling popcorn chips, something like that. But you have a fundraiser for your daughters, and definitely want you to be able to meet those goals. He's doing pretty well. And like I said, his marketing skills is so funny. Go check out his comments on Facebook, his pictures, his memes. It's hilarious. It's worth it. Makes you want to actually go buy the popcorn. You should be working for a marketing company, sir. You did really well. All right, people love this guy, even if he's a Browns fan. But he's gonna come over. He's gonna come over. He did an entire season, all of 2020 through two. Wilbert put up memes promoting Lamar Jackson and wanting him to get his contract, wanting him to get paid. So he's really a Ravens fan at heart. We know that Wilbert's heart is with the Ravens. He's with the flock 100%. Let me get this off my screen. All right. So now we know that we'll say the score is 3-0-1. So we're talking about tied on the tight ends. I know that is like a really sensitive topic. You guys probably voted in fully for the tight ends being better than the Steelers tight ends. But I'm going to go ahead and call it. I'm going to call it a wash. We'll say that is a tie right there. As far as the offensive line, I think the Steelers, let's see. They got Roger Jones. Okay, I'm with you. Isaac Seumalo. Troy Fontenot. Okay. So I think protection-wise, they are pretty straight. I think our line is decent. It's just I'm not a fan of number 77, and I think that creates a problem for Baltimore. But if he can pull it together on the ground and this next year make it look solid, I think that the Steelers might have us on the line. I'm gonna go ahead and call that one. So if the Steelers have the better line and are protecting Aaron Rodgers, that could create some problems. But so I'm gonna go ahead and say the Steelers have that one. So the score is 3-1-1. We're gonna move on down to the defensive side of the house. There may be some L's that we take initially, but I think we'll still come out on top. Burke said that popcorn is good, y'all. Go buy some. Absolutely, that popcorn. What did I get? I got the spicy. I think it's some spicy, cheesy ones, and the names are hilarious on the popcorns. They're really good. The graphics on there are great. Whoever says I want Lamar to be the best QB ever, but the Ravens still look what? No, we want the team to take it all the way for us to get a third ring, sir. Get the third ring. I even gave you props. I said we're gonna meet Baker in the Super Bowl, man. But we taking it. All right, here we are. So we are on the D line. If we're looking at the depth chart of the Steelers D line, we'll go ahead and add that back to stage. We're looking at the Steelers chart of the D line here. I'm gonna scroll down on that. Not that one. Not that one either. If I can get down there. Okay, so now we're on the defensive line here. Let's talk about Derek Harmon, who is a first-round pick this year. That significantly adds to their defensive end core. You got TJ. He may not be happy, but I think once the season rolls around, he is not going to sit out on this team who could do something this year. At least, they're believing that they can do something this year. Keanu Benton, Cameron Hayward, still over here hanging around. It's pretty solid. But this is a dangerous team on defense. Even with Fitzpatrick gone, I think Darius Slay, he's got the hyperbolic time chamber to where he can still play at a high level, and one of the highest levels as far as passes defense last year, still up in the top 10. Dude still got skills. Deshaun Elliott, he knows the Ravens. He's, of course, Queen knows the Ravens. Then, of course, they got another Raven. This is basically Ravens, Ravens North or something, because they got three of our Ravens sitting there with Deshaun. They got Malik Harrison, who everybody thought was going to be a big-time flop when we were having linebacker issues, and we placed him in because he just can't cover tight ends. But what he showed us is that he is a very capable linebacker, and putting him next to Pat Queen could make things a little difficult for the Baltimore Ravens. But they got Peyton Wilson as well. So I think you put Pat Queen and Malik Harrison together, and they can make something happen. I ain't gonna say it's gonna be magical, but the wild card here is Nick Herbig. He causes problems on the edge for the Baltimore Ravens, and I know that we're looking at depth here because Alex Highsmith is usually the one causing problems for Lamar Jackson, but Herbig is also a headache causer for Lamar Jackson. Joey Porter's still over there as far as corners, and you're looking at two of the old guys, Jalen Ramsey and Cameron Hayward. So if we're talking about who's got the better line, I got to give it to the Steelers. Do we have some dogs? Yeah, we got some dogs. Let's see what you got to say about it. So Lamar got to win like 10 Super Bowls before he retires. I'd love to see it. I would love to see it. Okay. So we're talking about the secondary. I think we got it. I think we got it. I mean, you see it. You see the two old guys. But look what we got. We got Marlowe still locking folks down. Okay. We got Wiggins. We got Jair. We got Ham. We got Starks. The list goes on. We even got Woozier. The depth is there. The talent is there. We ready to ball, folks. We got it locked down. Secondary. I got to give it to the Ravens right now. The score is 3. I want to say it's 4-2-1. 4-2-1 Ravens against the Steelers right now. We are killing it. All right. Comes to the mics. I'm going to go ahead and get this one. This is a difficult decision right now because we're talking about Agent Zero, right? Who's really solid against the run, but if in space, he's going to get lost. Trent Simpson is not necessarily proved right now. It's not a really good look for us to say that we got the better middle linebacking core. I don't know. I'm not having it. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all might be feeling a certain way when it comes to the Ravens as far as the Ravens, drinking the purple Kool-Aid, feeling that bias, but I am not high on this Roquan as far as being able to cover in space. Because we got Roquan, we got Trent Simpson. Y'all can talk about Teddy Buchanan, but you know what? Potential means you ain't did nothing yet. So Jake Hummel, Jay Higgins, excuse me, all these different guys. Show me that they can cover in space, and I would give them the vote. I got to give it to the Steelers right now. Queen even showed up against us the first game and made a play, caused the fumble. I think that this is a tough decision, but we got to give it to the Steelers right now. So we're looking at 4-3-1 as far as position groups. Next, on the edge. Like I said, they cause problems. I like Mike Green. I do. I like Adafe. I like Kyle. I do. I like them all. But it's TJ Watt, y'all. It's Highsmith. It's Herbig. These guys have caused problems for us in the past. And the reason that we lost to the Steelers wasn't because of their magnificent quarterbacks. They've beaten us continually with backup quarterbacks. Every backup quarterback in the league has, as long as they was playing with the Steelers, they beat us. So I got to get the edge to them. So right now we're looking at 4-4-1. And that's the end. Right now we're looking at an evenly matched team, and that's kind of what you're going to see when it comes to this game. You're going to see an evenly matched team with GMs that did things to counter each other. But ultimately, it's going to boil down to one position group kind of winning out and taking the game over. And I think it's going to be the quarterbacks and the tight ends that make the difference for the Baltimore Ravens. Because you got Darius Slay sitting here locking down folks. You got Jalen Ramsey, who's, like I said, he's not a slouch. He's just old. If he locks down Nuke, then of course it's going to be between Bateman and Joey Porter Jr., who's definitely not a slouch. So of course let's say those two cancel each other out there. It's wide receiver versus cornerbacks. I think when it comes to the tight ends, if they can dominate these Baltimore's tight ends against their middle linebackers, that's going to leave some things open. Of course, the ground game, Henry's going to have to do his thing. Going to have to come out. We're going to find things in open space so Justice Hill can get his work in, and then take advantage of the back end of that secondary. So, looking for those opportunities to bring those safeties up a little bit so they continue to cheat up and then hit them up over the top with a deep shot, hopefully to Bateman or something along those lines, or maybe to the tight end. But we got to exploit those opportunities as they come. Be calm. What's up? He says Pitt has the better punter besides Frazier, their offensive line, or place kickers. Yeah, place kicker besides Frazier, their offensive line isn't better than the Ravens. I totally forgot. How did I forget special teams? It's a huge part of the game. When it comes to special teams, they got it. They got the better kicker right now. The guy that's over there on my screen, he's no longer with the Ravens, and he's facing also a 10-game suspension if he actually does side with the team. Okay. Excuse me a second, y'all. Need to close the door for a minute. All right. So, so when it comes down to it, their special teams unit could be better than the Baltimore Ravens. So that actually puts it at a 4-5-1 Steelers, but at that talent level overall, I think the Ravens got them. Anyway, so that's the end of the show. I got a dog who's being annoying upstairs, needs some love. Hey, thanks for coming through. I appreciate y'all being here. Please hit the like button, hit subscribe, and smack the bell so you know when it's going down. We're gonna be here. We're gonna be here next week. I hope y'all have a wonderful 4th of July. I hope you got some big plans for big fireworks, being safe with those fireworks. We don't need anybody like my grandfather. He blew up these 3 fingers off when he was alive, and it's because he was not practicing fireworks safety. And so he ended up picking up Coke cans and everything else with those. Scared the heck out of me during my baptism because he was missing those hands and I didn't know about it. Nobody told me. Brooke is telling me it is time. So y'all make sure y'all be safe. Have a wonderful 4th of July holiday weekend. And y'all, with that, I am going to tell you straight up that y'all, I'm continue to fall off the couch. I love y'all. Appreciate you. With that said, 2 claps. Fade to black.
Introducing the Couch Rider Raven Report. Let's go. Ravens, Ravens, Ravens. Couch Rider. Ravens, Ravens, hey, Ravens. We gon' ride out. Ravens, Ravens, Ravens. Couch Rider. We gon' ride out.
For some of you Twitter gangsters, this is just a hobby, original sports perspective. You can't stop me. Couch Rider Report, it's reflective. Please respect it. You will get checked, and your knowledge will be tested. I ain't the coldest Raven, but this is my show. Shout out to the Barry White of rap for the beat, though.